welcome out. Here we are, another list in our list of lists. This is the pros and cons of summer and winter courses. Off-semester courses, those not offered in spring and fall, are usually a mixed bag. So knowing what they are and what they aren't will give you a leg up on most of those who take these classes. One good reason to take them is that you speed up your graduation time. And today, with students graduating in 5 to 6 years, that's a good thing. And of course, the reason they're graduating in 5, 6 years is usually because they're working part-time, probably at least 15, 20 hours a week. More and more students are working full-time. I myself, going back 25 years plus, was working and going to school full-time. So more and more of that as the years go by because of the economic situation, inflation, cost, rise in the cost of college and higher education. All right, so number one, you graduate sooner. Here's an advantage, pros and cons. It's all about time and money, isn't it? The longer you stay in college, the longer you go piling up debt, not gaining greater income via value-added bachelor's degree. Personally, I went 4 semesters a year for 3.5 years to graduate with a BA and MA. I transferred in a few classes, but not many. Bottom line, I was out earning an income as well as piling up less debt in the process. I worked and went to college full-time, paid as much as I could as I went, so that by the time I graduated with a BA, MA, I only owed $15,000, a bargain. Of course, this is going back some time. I graduated with my master's 2001, so a little less expensive back then, but nevertheless, you can still do the same thing. You can save money. You can go off to, instead of going to a 4-year college, right off the bat, just go to community college. Community colleges will save you thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars, depending on what 4-year institution you're going to after community college or after the first 2 years. So there are certainly ways to cut your expenses. Maybe that will be my next list. Cut your expenses, speed things up, and so forth. Number 2, more openings, less traffic, smaller crowds. Again, this is summer classes. I mentioned winter classes as well, even though here the emphasis will be summer classes, because the summer classes are more standard staple, I should say. Not every college offers winter classes, and those winter classes are usually 4 to 6 weeks. Summer classes, 8 weeks. Number 2, more openings, less traffic, smaller crowds. Personally, I love teaching summer classes because of the lack of crowds, open classrooms, and generally more laid-back atmosphere. Most students don't attend off semester, so therefore it's easier to register for summer classes. It's also a lot less stressful as more parking spaces are available, smaller crowds, generally a lot less hassle and stress than you get in the spring and fall semesters. This also bodes well for the student as your professors have more time for you during, before, and after class. It's really a win-win situation. All right. That's one of the main aspects or elements of summer classes. It seems like you're kind of, I don't know, like on retreat. It seems like you're on retreat, like you're on a vacation. The campus, it's warm out, sunny and summery. The campus is usually pretty empty. There's not a lot of noise, and there's not a lot of cars, and it's very, very laid back, very open, and an enjoyable atmosphere, And I know students think, oh no, those summer classes, I'm taking additional classes beyond the spring and fall, and that's going to be more pressure, more work and less time to do that work and so forth. But there are advantages, definitely advantages to the summer classes in regards to less stress, less pushing and shoving, and a more laid back, enjoyable atmosphere. Okay. However, number 3, be prepared to buckle down, as I mentioned above, somewhat. No slacking here. Most summer classes are 8 weeks or half the time of normal semester. If you take winter classes, those are even shorter, as I said before, 4 to 6 weeks. Shotgun classes, like a shotgun wedding, in and out. That being said, keep in mind that you're getting the same number of units or credits as the regular semester classes, thus the same or similar workload. Yes, bummer. Thus, I would not suggest loading up on summer classes. Try one or two. I would say if you're really inexperienced, just try one. It's your freshman year, you're just going off to summer school, take one class, see how that works out. If it's too much, drop it. If you take two, well, or even one, drop a class or drop both classes or whatever. Personally, I cut my students a little slack and back off on the work a bit, so there may be other professors who do the same thing. I don't know. Check around. And yeah, I like, for instance, maybe say I have them write 6 papers and there's a midterm and a final and some quizzes and other things going on, blah, blah, blah. I might knock off a paper or make the midterm, instead of 10 questions, 5 questions. Same with the final, maybe cut the final in half, So I'm cutting a little bit here and there, but still we're talking 85, 90% of the workload of the normal semester, because it has to be, it's not the exact same workload. It has to be very similar or close, because you're still giving the same number of units, three or 4 units, whatever that class offers. Number 4, the number of hours per class and classes per week. Since classes are more condensed, 8 instead of 16 weeks, classes themselves are packaged differently from the regular semester classes. You may attend classes Monday through Thursday, often an hour and a half or so each class. Sometimes classes are offered 3 times a week with the time per class increased. And sometimes you may even find classes that meet twice a week, but those classes could be 3 hours long or longer. This is another reason you don't want to go, you don't want to be taking more than 1 or 2 summer classes. So, yeah, and I've gotten to the point now where I'm just, repeating the same classes over and over again. There used to be more variety when I was younger, and I was still shopping around for schools to work at on a steady basis. But now I kind of have a standard package, and I teach, I think it's Monday through Thursday, and probably an hour, 50 minutes per class. So, almost 2 hours. You're going 2 hours a class, 4 days in a row. So that's a bit heavy, but it's only 8 weeks. And you're done before you know it's even started. But the thing is, keeping up with the workload. And of course, I have to keep up with the workload. I've got the same number of students or similar, close to what I would have in a normal semester. And I would usually teach, I think I would usually teach a couple classes. Not anymore. I'm kind of in retired mode. Now I teach just one. I think I got one class this coming summer semester over at one of the colleges. And but I used to teach on a regular basis two at one campus and 1 or 2 at another campus. So I'd be teaching, like I teach from 10 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, back-to-back classes. And then I would drive out to the next college, and I get there around 5 or 6 and teach another class or 2. And I do that 4 or 5 times a week, so like a full-time job. And plus grading the papers. That's a lot of work. So if you think it's a lot of work for the student, it's a lot of work for the teachers, probably more work. Number 5, many full-time professors don't teach in the summer. Most full-time teachers are taking the summer off. They're on sabbatical, writing books, doing research. So the classes are usually left to adjuncts. This is generally not a problem because most adjuncts are very competent teachers. But if you're looking for your favorite full-time teacher to teach a summer class, that might not happen. Just keep this in mind when you're signing up, your preferences. Number 6, limitations because of time constraints. Since the professor is attempting to force 16 weeks of material into 8 weeks, you won't be able to go at as leisurely a pace as you would during the regular semesters. Thus, your chance of learning the material and retaining it is limited. Again, it's a shotgun wedding, it's a shotgun class. You're probably the first week or so, you're you're loading up on the knowledge and information that you need in order to write the papers, to do the research, whatever it is. And then after that, the next 7 weeks are just bang, bang, bang. I mean, you're knocking out a paper every week and a half or so. And also doing a midterm and a final, and whatever else goes on, right? This is a shotgun wedding, no time for pause and reflection. Also, instead of writing, say, 6 papers over 16 weeks, you now have the same number of papers to write over 8 weeks. So being prepared for that fast pace is essential. If you're not up to it, that's not take more than 1 class and clear up your schedule to get things done at a very fast pace. Good luck. And finally, burnout and other activities. Going to class every semester, winter, spring, summer, fall, is not for everybody. So maybe you can use these off semesters and emergency situations to speed things up a bit, to catch up, replace a class you dropped, or to grab that prerequisite that you need before the coming fall semester. Only if you're really motivated to graduate in the minimum amount of time should you take classes 4 semesters a year. It's not for everyone, but it's an option. So talk about it. Share the idea around, see what people say, in your family, with your schoolmates, maybe with teachers that you know at the college, or counselors, or whomever. Get some input before you go off on an intense schedule like that mentioned here. Good luck. All right, so that's it for the off semesters. We'll have another list for you soon. Take care.